It's early morning at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 2 on Wallops Island as we count down to the launch of today's national security mission for the National Reconnaissance Office. Thanks for tuning in for this launch, our 46th Electron mission and our first for the year from our launch pad in Virginia. On your screen right now stands our Electron rocket vertical and ready for liftoff, scheduled at 0240 local time or 2340 Pacific and 0640 UTC. My name is Muriel Baker and I am thrilled to be with you for another Eastern Shore launch from LC2. Today's launch is the NROL-123 mission for the NRO. It's our fifth mission for the National Reconnaissance Office, but the first time we are launching for the agency from the US and from their home state of Virginia. The mission's name is Live and Let Fly. The payloads on board are research missions to enable new technology development amongst the NRO, industry and academia. Now, at their request, we won't be showing a payload camera view and we'll be ending the webcast today shortly after stage 2 separation. We have two different mission patches on the fairing for this Electron. There's our Rocket Lab mission patch featuring the Pegasus and a second mission patch from the NRO. The three animals on the NRO's mission patch represent the three research missions launching on Electron today. Now, while these are classified missions, we can tell you that for one of those missions, the NRO has partnered with the Naval Postgraduate School. Now it's over to you to guess which animal represents that mission and what the other animals might stand for. But for now, here's more about the National Reconnaissance Office.
People have always thought that big ideas were impossible until we made them come true. Finding new ways to innovate, helping humanity prepare for the unpredictable on the planet we call home. We see from the perspective of stars. Safe.
It's with the NRO for the fifth time. Our third and fourth missions for the NRO were two back-to-back flights from our launch pad in New Zealand for the NROL-162 and NROL-199 payloads. Earlier in our launch manifest, we had also flown NRO missions in January and June 2020. Today's mission also marks the last launch the NRO has acquired using its rapid acquisition of a small rocket or RAZOR contract, a streamlined, faster and commercial approach by the NRO for launching small satellites. Our first flights for the NRO were also contracted under RAZOR, so it's a fantastic full circle moment to be flying RAZOR 5 and NROL-123 from our Virginian launch pad today. The NRO has also dedicated this launch to Dr. Steve Stearns. Steve worked in the intelligence community for 21 years. He was an architect and an advocate for the NRO mission, building multimedia displays. He used his skills from years of teaching at universities by creating compelling stories with intelligence community products to educate distinguished visitors on the NRO mission. Steve passed away in February 2023. He is remembered by his colleagues as being passionate about geology and the mission of the NRO, and he loved working at the NRO, going to launches and being able to say, "I was there." So today we can say he is here with us from rocks to rockets. With the support of Virginia Spaceport Authority, the Commonwealth of Virginia and NASA Wallops Flight Facility, our home on the Eastern Shore serves multiple purposes: small launch on Electron, suborbital launch with HASTE, and very soon, heavier launch and return missions with our reusable Neutron launch vehicle. Now, while we're preparing to go to orbit today on Electron, most recently this pad was used for one of our suborbital missions on our HASTE rocket. Orbital launch vehicle created for hypersonic test launches out of Wallops. Now, hypersonic and suborbital test capabilities are top priorities for the Navy now. It's a lot like Electron with the same carbon composite structure and 3D printed Rutherford engines, but it has some specific modifications for hypersonic testing, including a modified kick stage, a larger payload capacity of up to 700 kilograms, and customizable fairings to suit larger payloads. Our first HASTE mission took place just a few months ago from the same launch pad as part of the Mark TV program through Leidos for the Department of Defence. Here's more on how Launch Complex 2 and our launch vehicles are bringing value to the national security industry.
For a whole suite of various government or defense companies to be able to launch from American soil means they can actually launch a more diverse set of payloads than they can if they're required to actually export them for launch. And for us, it's great. We can leverage all the resources we have, but provide that expanded capability to launch different types of payloads from here on American soil. So we've got a great established relationship with the NRO. This is our 5th launch with them. So at this point, we know them and they know us. But this is our first chance to launch them here from Virginia on American soil, which is very exciting. So it's really nice with those guys because they know our process. They know how we do things and how we do things efficiently and quickly. So anytime anything comes up where we have to modify anything to support their payloads, they know how to ask for it and we know how to provide it very efficiently. We want it to be very quick from signing a contract to getting you on the launch pad and launched, especially with national security interests. So we need to have that responsiveness, and adding a reliable vehicle like Electron that the entire government community can use really adds to our ability to be responsive as a country and as smaller communities within the government. I'm a sucker for a good team. That's really what it comes down to for me. So, we've got so many people that are here to support launch, and everything has to go right. And so to make that happen, you need to have a bunch of people who are really good at their jobs, and launch day is when everyone gets to show what they do. So people who are really detail-oriented, they've done their homework, they're really enthusiastic and curious and driven to do as great of a job as they can do, they get to put their cards on the table and show that on launch day. So it's great to see a high-performance team absolutely operating at their peak on launch day, and there's just that excitement in the air. It's almost like an adrenaline rush that you really can't get in other fields.
At just over 12 minutes to lift off, things are looking good for an on-time launch from LC2. Our operators are working in partnership with NASA and the Virginia Spaceport Authority to keep the range clear and ready for support. Now, Electron and its NRO payload remain healthy, and the weather is proving nice and calm in these early hours. Next, we'll be moving into the Go, No-Go poll run by our launch director at Wallops, Julia Wembacher. She'll run through status checks with each of the launch operators at the ICF at Wallops and MCC in Auckland to know whether to proceed with the countdown to T0. We're going to bring up those audio channels now and listen in.
To all operators, LD and countdown, we are proceeding now with the final poll for launch, the Go No-Go sequence. Stage.
Stages go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Recon.
Recon's go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
Mars CE.
Mars CE is go.
Mars Ops.
Mars Ops is go.
Mars 1.
Mars 1 is go.
NASA GSO.
Those go.
NASA RSO.
RSOs go.
NASA PM.
SPM is go.
Payload MD.
Payload MD is go.
LSO.
LSO is go.
LD Sub.
LD sub is go.
NASA TD. The go-no-go sequence is complete. We are currently T-minus 11 minutes and 7 seconds and counting. We are go for the terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-watt hold procedure is in effect.
All right, folks, Papa D
Good
here with
news
Dave
there.
Blue
We
Space,
are
and
moving
as you
forward
saw, we
with
do
today's
have a
launch
go.
attempt set
Terminal
for
count at
0240
10
local
minutes.
time,
We're counting forward
2340
at
Pacific
10:26
time,
right
or
now
0640
for this
UTC.
NRO mission.
It is now 10 minutes 36 seconds and counting to launch, so time to take you through the Electron rocket for today's NRO mission. Electron is a 3-stage liquid-fueled launch vehicle. Its external and internal structures, like its propellant tanks, are made from carbon composite, which is what gives Electron its unique black look. Now, where it is white is where liquid oxygen is being loaded into the tanks. The freezing temperature of the LOX causes moisture on the outside of the rocket to turn to ice, and that's why it looks white. There are 10 engines across the rocket, 9 that power the first stage, and a 10th that powers the second stage. All of these Rutherford engines are 3D printed and feature electrically powered fuel pumps instead of a traditional gas turbine system. Rutherford engines use brushless DC electric motors and lithium polymer batteries that, together, drive the engine's propellant pumps. It's a unique but streamlined way of making an engine run while still allowing the Rutherford to achieve up to 90% efficiency. Now, the rocket's propellant is a mix of liquid oxygen and kerosene used across all 10 engines on both of Electron's stages. On its third stage, there is a singular engine called the Curie. Now, this engine is much, much smaller than the Rutherford and is used to propel the kick stage, or what we call the third stage, or what we call the kick stage, when it's in space to deploy its attached satellites. Now, we're able to start and stop this engine on command when it's in space, which helps to point the kick stage and its payload in exactly the direction it needs to go, whether that is across multiple trajectory changes on a rideshare mission or to a very specific location on orbit that can only be achieved on a dedicated mission.
Stage LD countdown.
LD stage.
Proceed with sequence 56, the stage terminal check sequence.
Copy. Stage terminal check.
Launch pad ready sequence.
Copy. Proceeding with launch pad ready sequence.
All engine blips nominal. All engines are ready. Terminal check sequence complete.
Copy.
All right, folks, at this point, all the engines are healthy.
To get to the pad today
and
involved
we are
a
ready to
focused
go.
campaign
We are
of
at,
rocket
just
and
under
payload readiness
T-minus
checks,
14
including
minutes.
a rehearsal for launch that is known
And,
as a wet dress
all
rehearsal.
looking nominal
Now,
at this
Electron
point.
starts its journey at our integration and control facility and is then transported horizontally from there to the pad, where it is full steam ahead with pad work to help bring that vehicle vertical once it arrives. Now, this launch's mission manager, Jane McNichol, was at the pad earlier today to check in.
Welcome to Launch Complex 2, where just a few hours from now, from right behind me, Electron will lift off and take to Virginia skies for the first time this year. So far, in preparation for liftoff, Electron has traveled the 9-mile journey by road from Rocket Lab's integration and control facility. From there, our launch technicians installed Electron horizontally onto the strongback you see here behind me. In the coming hours, Electron will be raised vertical ahead of launch at around 2:40 a.m. local time. Once pre-launch checks are complete and all personnel are cleared of the pad, we'll begin fueling Electron with liquid oxygen, and we'll start to see that icy white coating form around Electron's launch tanks in preparation for flight. Now, while Electron and LC2 are the stars of the show today, just over here to my left, something equally exciting is taking shape. construction is full speed ahead on our pad for Neutron, with concrete foundations for the launch mount poured and the water tower construction nearly complete, ready for installation. Standing at just over 86 meters, or around 283 feet, the tower will hold 200,000 gallons of water. As Neutron's Archimedes engines ignite for liftoff, that water will be pumped onto the pad, providing acoustic suppression and heat protection. A similar system is in place to protect Electron's pad, just on a much smaller scale. When you watch liftoff today, keep an eye on the launch mount right about where you see the red handrails are, and you'll see the deluge system initiate in the seconds before launch. The views of Electron lifting off the pad today will no doubt be spectacular, but at twice the height of Electron and capable of carrying 13 tons of payload mass, Neutron will be quite a different scale altogether, and we can't wait to see that sight soon. For now, technicians are continuing to prep Electron for launch, so I'll hand it back to Muriel in Mission Control.
We are now coming up to 5 minutes from liftoff, and it's at the 2-minute mark to launch that Electron's countdown auto sequence will begin. Now, this is when Electron's flight computer takes over the launch countdown from the operators who are running it manually. Just after Electron has switched to that auto sequence, at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds, we should hear the call that LOX loading is complete on Electron. At 1 minute to liftoff, we can then expect confirmation that the launch vehicle's first and second stages are pressurized for launch. And then it's through to T-minus 10 seconds when our launch director will begin the countdown to liftoff. So with the launch vehicle and the payload healthy and the weather clear, things are looking good for an on-time launch.
All right, folks, we're at T-minus 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Everything is nominal right now. Fuel continues to load on this LOX and RP3 rocket. Liquid fueled, as they were saying.
Coming to you with an update that we have heard on our internal nets that the count has gone into a hold for now. So we'll stand by and wait for updates from Mission Control.
Okay, and with that being said, now we are at a hold. The clock is still rolling. But it has stopped temporarily. Let's wait and we'll stand by and find out what is going on, if we're going to continue or if we're going to have a recycle this morning. Again, this is the Rocket Lab NROL, National Reconnaissance Office payload 123, live and let fly, scheduled to leave T0 at approximately, original time was 2:40. And we are right now on a hold. And as soon as we have some information relating to that, we'll get right back to you. For now, we'll just stand by.
LD avionics on countdown.
Avionics held.
Avionics terminal board sequence complete.
Copy, thank you.
LED stage countdown.
Stage LD.
Stage terminal board checks are complete.
Copy, thank you, Stage. Can you please confirm your bleed valves are all open?
Confirm bleed valves are open.
Copy, please configure your OFVs for LOX top up.
Copy, they're configured.
PLS LD
All right, folks.
countdown.
Looks like the
LD
countdown
PLS.
Please
has
proceed with the
resumed.
LOX top up. Papa 7600.
Proceeding with Papa 7600. LOX top up.
Hello, we have another update to share, just to let you know that we have had a hold during today's countdown with the clock sitting at T minus 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Now, we are listening into mission control to understand the driver behind that and see if we can recycle for another attempt. We'll let you know more as we do.
All right, folks, we are still on hold here at just over 4 minutes at this point. We're still waiting. As you heard earlier, we're waiting to see if we are going to be able to get a recycle today. The reason for the hold right now is unknown. Nothing is showing up on the board that I have here. But they did safe the count. They did safe all the systems. They have not begun a detank. So we're just waiting to hear. As you can see by the feed, it is looking as if they are still topping off the O2 tanks. So we'll just stand by. We're waiting for word to come from Rocket Lab. Hope we have a launch today, but again, no indications yet other than the fact we are holding at T minus 4 minutes and 36 seconds for this NROL-123 National Reconnaissance Office mission. We'll just stand by and hold for further word. All right, folks, let me just take a minute to appreciate them giving us the opportunity to share this launch. We're hoping to have a launch this morning as we're holding. Subscriber, thank you for stopping by. And if you're not yet a subscriber, please look around. Something that is of interest to you. We have a lot of the local launches from around. Get physically the rig out to Kennedy. We look forward to doing that hopefully very shortly again. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them for me. I'd love to hear what you have to say. We had a comment this morning from one of our viewers, I believe in Germany, and say hello. Thank you for stopping by.
At T minus 4 minutes and 36 seconds, the clock remains at a hold just while our mission operations team works through what is the driver behind that. We don't have any new information to share with you, but as soon as we do, we'll bring you another update here and let you know if we can recycle this attempt to try for liftoff today.
And as you heard, we are still waiting to see if we're going to have recycle. At the time that the hold popped up, the rocket itself was on internal control. So I have to believe that
GC on countdown.
GCLD.
Electron is secured on the pad and ECS is enabled.
Copy, thank you. Then GC, please reprime the igniter system, pop off 4200.
Copy, proceeding with the pop-up 4200.
All right, and as you heard, there is some activity trying to recycle, but we are still holding at 436. And we hope to have launched this morning, but let's wait and hear from the Rocket Pad Flight Control Center. We still don't have a reason for the scrub. We're calling it a hold, not a scrub, but for the hold at this moment. Right, everyone, it's Papa D coming back to you. We are right now waiting on the recycle. Looks like they are getting ready to recycle at the what will be the 12-minute mark, and that should be coming up very shortly for the clock to start moving again. We've heard nothing with respect to what took place other than the fact that it looks like the spacecraft scrubbed, went into a hold mode at just over T minus 4 minutes and counting. So we'll stand by and wait for an update, but it looks like we are going to have a recycle this morning at T minus 12 minutes. at some time very shortly here. We'll just stand by and listen.
Hello again. If you are just tuning in now, I just want to let you know that we are in a hold on the pad at LC2 for the NROL-123 Live and Let Fly mission for the NRO. Now, happily, we do have some time up our sleeve in this window all the way up until 03:25 Eastern. So we may recycle and start the count back up again soon. If we do need to stand down today, though, we do have plenty of backup opportunities in the coming days. For now, though, let's keep up those loops up and listen in for updates from Mission Control.
LD PLS countdown.
PLS LD set.
Tank swap is complete, ready to get back into stage 1, stage 2 liquid oxygen top up.
Copy. I'm happy for you to coordinate with stage.
Copy.
And everyone, Papa D here. We are still holding by. We have word there may be a recycle, but we are still waiting for the clock to begin and get formal notification. We did have a hold at T minus 436. Internal hold, I believe, from the spacecraft. So we'll just stand by here again. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks to all the subscribers. Thank you to Rocket Lab, and we'll just stand by until we get a determination if we're going to get a restart of the clock or recycle. It sounded earlier as if they were beginning the tank refill and top off procedure, which is a good sign. So we will just stand by and let you know as soon as we hear some more information about the current status of Live and Let Fly.
The issue. We have set the new T0 time to the end of the window. That's in UTC time 072500. We're trying to make a decision before the T minus 12-minute call.
All right, everyone, as you hear, we are at T minus 12 minutes, but that is the end of the launch window. So between now and that point, we will hopefully get a determination from flight control whether they intend to continue. But the way that'll work is if the clock begins moving, we are okay. And if we have another hold, that will essentially scrub the mission because we will have broached the end of the window. So we'll just wait and see if we can get this clock to restart. And we will wait in on the flight control for a final determination. Fingers crossed.
T0 to the end of today's window and are working what appears to be an out-of-family data issue. Right now, though, that gives us a new T0 of 0325 Eastern, so let's keep an ear out as we progress through that count.
Okay, and as you just heard, we've got a new T0 of 325 Eastern Time. They had a data issue, out of data issue, which means there was a data point that was out of sync, and the system basically just shut down the count for that reason. Not sure which data point it was, but that was what we heard. So at this point, we are now, if we're seeing it correctly together, we're looking at a new T0 of 0325 a.m. Eastern Time. Looking at all the data looks good, and all right now we're just holding. We're about 23 minutes out, and again, if this clock expires, we will be at the end of the launch window. So they are using up every available second that they have, and if we don't have a launch today, then we'll recycle more than likely for tomorrow.
A path forward for the issue we encountered. There are currently no blockers. We are proceeding with our new T0 time of 072500 UTC time. So please be prepared for the T-minus 12-minute go-no-go poll.
At the path to launch, and we have a new T0 target of 0725 UTC. So we'll be working through that all the way up to the go, no-go poll at T-minus 12 minutes. We'll come back to you with an update to listen into that then.
All right, and we are confirmed at a new T0 0325 Eastern Standard Time. We're at just over 20 minutes. At 12 minutes, we'll have a go-no-go poll. At 10 minutes, the spacecraft will again go internal, and we'll recycle back to where we were and hope for a T0 in just about 20 minutes, 21 minutes. I just want to take a minute again to thank everyone for coming out this morning and sticking by us, and thank you all for the new milestone we were able to hit this week. We crossed the 10,000 subscriber mark, and we are extremely appreciative of everyone who's taken the time to subscribe to the channel, come out and watch, and allow us to grow the channel with YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, certainly feel free to take a look around. If you'd like to join the family, we'd love to have you be part of at least what we're trying to do here, get as many of the launch coverages to you and the comment that goes with it. A lot of exciting things happening. We just got done with the Starship launch, and we have a whole lot more coming up here this week alone. But through 2024, just SpaceX alone is looking at about 150 launches, not including Starship. Starship is getting ready, we think, within the next 30 to 45 days, subject to approvals, to execute another launch attempt, which will be number 4.
Some of the numbers by this mission. So today's launch will be our 46th launch since Electron's very first liftoff in 2017. It will be our 4th launch of 2024 and also coincidentally our 4th launch from LC2. It is our 5th mission for the NRO, with 4 previous missions launching from LC1 in New Zealand. And to date, Electron has launched 178 satellites, and we look forward to adding to that total today in about 17 minutes from now.
All right, and we do have the board clear at this point at 17:15 to T0. At 12 minutes, again, we'll take the poll, and once the poll is complete, if everything is looking good and positive, we'll be back to a T0 of approximately 3:25 Eastern Standard Time. Something UTC and all those other ones I don't do the math on, so y'all can figure that out. But at this point in time, we are back on track, and this will be the end of this launch window. So again, if we have another hold, that'll be a scrub for the day. And as I was saying earlier, we do appreciate allowing us to reach this milestone, and we appreciate everyone coming out and standing by as we hopefully wait to see the most recent Rocket Lab mission for the National Reconnaissance Office. We'll stand by, and as we get closer to the countdown and the polling, we will come back with the audio. Thanks again, folks. We appreciate you coming out this morning. Just an update, just to remind you, we're coming up on the go, no go poll at T-minus 12 minutes, about a minute 10 out. And if the poll clears, we will be counting down to a T0 of 3:25 Eastern time. So we're standing by for that poll here in just about a minute.
The final poll for launch, the go, no go sequence. Stage,
Stages go.
avionics,
Avionics is go.
GNC,
GNCs go.
Recon,
Recons go.
T1,
T1 is go.
GC,
GC is go.
PLS,
PLS is go.
Mars CE,
RCE is go.
Mars Up,
Mars Ops is go.
Mars 1,
Mars 1 is go.
NASA GSO,
Go.
NASA AirSO,
NASA RSO's go.
NASA PM,
NASA PM is go.
Payload MD,
Payload MD is go.
LSO,
LSO is go.
LD Sub,
LD SEP is go.
NASA TG.
He's go.
And that concludes the go, no go sequence. We're currently T-minus 11 minutes and 8 seconds and counting. We are go for the terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word hold procedure is in effect.
And that is the poll from Mission Control that confirms we are now going forward with today's liftoff attempt at 03:25 Eastern, right at the end of today's launch window in just over 10 minutes and 40 seconds from now.
All right, everybody. Looks like we are go for another launch attempt in just over 10 minutes. The go, no go poll cleared. And all systems look good at this point in time. Earlier, we did have a hold due to a mismatch in data from the sounds of it. And that problem was... They did some troubleshooting and cleared that issue. Prop tanks are now filling and topping back off. As you can see, the normally completely black rocket is white with the frost of the liquid oxygen. And we are go at the end of this launch window, which will expire
Dwell on
T0.
countdown. Stage 1 igniter pressure is verified. Hydraulic pressure is verified. LD GC on countdown.
GCLD.
The pad terminal checks are complete.
Copy.
All right, we have a go on all terminal checks, and we are on terminal count. Vehicle is running internal. And we are standing by at T-minus 9 minutes and 9 seconds.
Avionics LD countdown.
LD avionics.
Please proceed to sequence 55, the avionics terminal check sequence.
Copy. Commencing sequence 55. S-band is switched to high power for flight.
Changing over the radio bands. All right, we are go. Everything looking good. Everything is nominal at this point in time for attempt number 2 of NROL-123.
Stage 1 and Stage 2, high voltage batteries, ready for flight.
And we
Stage
will listen
LD
to the end.
LD stage.
Proceed to sequence 56, the stage terminal check sequence.
Copy sequence 56.
It looks like batteries are charged and we are ready to roll. So we'll stand by at this point, listen to the chatter coming across the bands, and looking forward to a launch in T-minus 8 minutes.
Proceed with sequence 57, the launch pad ready sequence.
Copy, proceeding with launch pad ready sequence.
T-minus 7 minutes and 41 seconds and counting, and the team and the rocket are both tracking well. Now, I just wanted to give you a bit of an update that we are expecting some potential video dropouts during today's launch. So if that does occur, we'll switch views to mission control and continue listening into the team on console for updates.
Copy.
All right, we are at T-minus 6 minutes, 15 seconds and counting. Board is clear. Everything is nominal. Batteries are charged. Communications are set, and we are ready to roll. Hoping for a T0 again at 3:25 Eastern, which is about 6 minutes out. This is the first recycle for today, and at the end of this vehicle's launch window for today. We hope to make launch here in just under 6 minutes. We have been notified that there's going to be some video drop-off. As you can see by the video feed, the strongback has begun the retraction. So all steps are moving forward towards a new T0 on-time launch.
We are now under 5 minutes away from liftoff, and just a reminder of the final processes as we get towards T0. Electron's auto sequence will start at around the 2-minute mark to launch, which will take over the launch countdown from the operators who are running it themselves from mission control. Now, after that, once Electron has switched to that auto sequence, we should hear the call that LOX has finished loading on Electron at around T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now, 30 seconds later, at T-minus 1 minute to liftoff, we should hear confirmation that the first and second stages of the rocket are at their full pressure for liftoff. And then we get through to T-minus 10 seconds when our launch director will count down all the way to T0. So with the launch vehicle and the payload both looking good and the range being clear, we should be on time for that 03:25 Eastern Time liftoff target. We'll hand over now to Mission Control and wait for those next few calls coming in at around T-minus 2 minutes.
ECS disabled, pad auto sequence is armed, the pad is ready for launch.
All right, we are at
To all operators, LDN countdown. From now on, there should be no red flags on your critical LCCs. Recon LD countdown.
LD Recon.
Confirm all expected flight computer ASCIIs are green.
Confirm.
Then please lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Auto sequence locked.
At this point, we are go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LD is go for launch.
All right, and we are go for launch, and at T-minus 2 minutes, which is about 33 seconds, they'll be switching over to auto sequence. The vehicle will be in control of the launch for the rest of the ground portion of the mission until T0. And we are now on internal.
Vehicle is on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
As you heard, the FTS is green. That's the flight termination system. They initiate that in the event there is an anomaly. Something goes out of nominal with the vehicle.
Lock system is in recirculation.
And with that, the vehicle will be able to terminate the flight. At this point, T-minus 1 minute and 18 seconds, we seem to be go for launch. We will stand by. Enjoy the launch.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks press for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
And we have liftoff at T
beginning pitch level. Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
0.325. The second recycle. All engines look hot, normal.
Our 46th Electron is in the air and on its way to orbit after liftoff from Launch Complex 2. Electron's Rutherford engines are burning hot as the launch vehicle accelerates towards max Q, that moment when the density of the air around the rocket and its acceleration through that air creates the maximum aerodynamic pressure that the launch vehicle will experience. The call from Mission Control that we've passed through that point will be coming up shortly.
Vehicle is supersonic. Approaching max Q. At max Q.
With Electron clear through max Q, all is looking nominal at now 1 minute and 26 minutes into flight. So the rocket is now over 20 kilometers in altitude and moving at over 2,800 kilometers an hour. Up next will be 3 launch milestones that happen at roughly the same time. To separate the first stage of the rocket from its second, we need to throttle down and shut off the booster's 9 Rutherford engines. This is called MECO, or main engine cutoff. Next is stage separation, when those two sections will disconnect, and then
Stage
it
one
will be
propulsion
second
holding
stage
nominal. Stand
engine
by for
ignition
MECO in roughly
for the
30
10th
seconds.
Rutherford engine on Electron. Those three events are coming up shortly, so let's bring up the audio channels from Mission Control to listen in.
15 seconds to staging.
Entered burnout detect mode. MECO confirmed. Stage separation successful. Stage 2 ignition.
That is MECO, stage separation and Rutherford engine start on the second stage, all confirmed across the nets. Live and Let Fly is living up to its name as the mission continues nominally on its way to its target orbit. Up next will be fairing jettison, when Electron's nose cone splits and falls away to expose the NRO's payload in preparation for deployment.
Phenomena.
High voltage battery discharge is nominal.
Fairing separation successful.
And that is
Stage
fairing jettison
propulsion holding
confirmed
nominal.
as all continues nominally for Electron. We are now T plus 4 minutes and 19 seconds since Electron's launch off the pad at Launch Complex 2 in Virginia. Now, as we wait for our next set of mission milestones, we can see that Electron is progressing smoothly through flight. The Rutherford engine on the second
High
stage
voltage
will
battery
continue
discharge
to
nominal,
burn through that
approaching the
propellant
hotspot
and
in
empty
roughly
those
30
tanks
seconds.
as we approach engine cutoff for the second stage in just a few minutes. Now, that second stage engine is mostly identical to the engines on stage 1. It contains all of the same 3D printed parts and machinery as a stage 1 engine, but has a larger extension nozzle that is ideal for the vacuum conditions of space, and the engine has the ability to hot swap its batteries. Because the batteries for this engine have been working harder and for longer, they need to be swapped out for the mission to continue. And that is an action unique to Electron, which will be coming up in just a few minutes. Coming up now on battery hot swap for the second stage engine. So those batteries are close to terminal now as the mission is continuing. So Electron's engine power system will swap over to a new set to keep it running. This hot swap maneuver will allow continuous energy supply to the Rutherford engine's turbopumps, which delivers fuel into the engine's combustion chamber at extremely high pressure. The old set of batteries will be jettisoned, which we might see on our screen when that happens. So let's watch and listen out for the call from Mission Control.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Hot swap successful.
There they went, you saw it there, a clean battery hot swap for the second stage Rutherford engine. Propulsion looks nominal, our orbital trajectory is on track, and we are now just a few minutes away from the second stage's final milestones.
Stage 2 propulsion still holding nominal.
T plus 7 minutes, 21 seconds and counting, and the second stage is performing well on this leg of the journey. The burn of this engine should take the kick stage with its NRO payload all the way to the highest point of this mission's trajectory and reach speeds of up to 28,000 kilometers an hour ahead of payload deployment. We are now, though, under 2 minutes to the cutoff of this engine, and we should start hearing more status calls from our mission control operators shortly.
High voltage battery discharge, holding nominal.
Soon we'll be repeating the process of the stage separation that we completed earlier in the mission for the stage 2 you see on your screen from its kick stage with the NRO payload. Now this includes second engine cutoff, or SECO, of that stage 2 engine, followed by separation between stages 2 and 3. Now once that third stage, the kick stage, separates, it will go into a phasing orbit of Earth ahead of payload deployment. We'll listen in for those events now.
Francis on terminal.
All right, everybody, and we are at T plus
Seco
8
confirmed.
minutes, 7 seconds. Mission has gone to the mission plan so far since the recycling second attempt. We have gotten through the staging, fairing set, the battery
Good
jettison,
transorbit.
which is unique to the Electron. And we're
Great
preparing
news
now.
from Mission Control. With that second stage engine cold and the kick stage separated, Live and Let Fly's payload is now further on its journey to orbit. The kick stage has been released at the apogee of this mission's target orbit, otherwise known as its highest point, but not yet on a circular path. It will now complete an elliptical orbit around Earth before the dots reconnect at the apogee. Now when it does, the kick stage's engine will light up for the first of its multiple burns to set the mission on a circular orbit. Next after that will be payload deployment and the release of the payload. Now at the request of the NRO, we won't be live with those kick stage actions or payload deployment calls, but we will bring you updates across our social media channels. Payload deployment will mark the end of the mission for Rocket Lab, but the beginning of those 3 research missions on orbit for the NRO. So good luck and live and let fly to the NRO. We'll be ending the broadcast now, but remember to follow Rocket Lab's Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages for updates on this mission and our next Electron launch scheduled soon. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.
All right, folks. Well, that'll be it for today. We had a good launch on a second attempt to recycle. The NROL-123 is now, via its kick stage, is now taking its initial orbit, and the balance of that mission will, at the request of the National Reconnaissance Office, not be disclosed and not be viewed. Everything went well, as I was saying earlier, through stage SEP, kick stage SEP, the battery jettison, which is a unique thing to the Rocket Lab vehicles. and we had a good launch today. So we appreciate you coming out today. I want to say thank you to all the subscribers. As I was saying earlier, we hit a new milestone, passed through 10,000 subscribers. Just an amazing, amazing event for us. And we look forward to continue growing and continue growing the family here at David Delivers Space. We are looking at a very busy series of manifests for the balance of this year, and we're going to bring anything that is remote to you and anything local here to Central Florida. Coming out of Kennedy, we're going to be doing our remotes from there also. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to bringing that to you. If you're a subscriber, thanks again. If you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you look around, take a poke around through the videos. If you see anything you like and you feel so inclined, we'd love to have you join the family and subscribe, like, share, ring the bell, do all those YouTube-ish things that will allow us to get the information to you for any new videos or any new live feeds that we are bringing out. So with that, I will say good morning. It is... what are we at now? We're at about 3:40 Central Florida time, and we'll be back here within the next few hours. We have another launch going off. That is the Soyuz launch, which will be taking one of our American astronauts to the International Space Station. And then later this afternoon, we do have a CRS resupply mission from SpaceX that we'll be bringing to you. That'll be later this evening, or early this evening, about 4:55 Central Time. So we'll see you back here, hopefully. Come on back and spend some time with us about 9:21 Eastern. About 7 hours from now, 6 hours from now. And we will look forward to seeing you back, and we'll go for the next manned launch on a Soyuz of a NASA astronaut. Have a good morning. Look forward to seeing you back. Thanks again to everybody, and thanks again to Rocket Lab for the feed. We do appreciate you working with us on that. Have a great morning. See you soon.